Okay, we're going to continue our study of lesson, I forgot the M, there we go. I was like, it looks weird, 4.1, and we're going to focus in on horizontal and vertical lines. They are very important, and really, there was a question on our test that talked about the slopes of vertical lines were unusual. They were 0 if your line was horizontal and undefined if it was, or undefined if it was vertical. That's what I was looking for, is not the slopes of 0 and undefined. I was looking for the vertical and horizontal, and that's what Slope Dude mentioned about those lines, not that they were 0 and undefined. Okay, so we're going to break this down, and we're going to create kind of a box of information, and we're going to create 3 more underneath it. Kind of little, he got ripped off there, and we're going to do 3 across. Okay, and we're going to do a little dashy between these 2. And we're going to put some letters in the top corners, H, O, Y, hoy. And on this guy here, we're going to do V, U, X for Vux. Okay. So this top is going to be Y equals some number. Okay, so think about it. If you have an equation that has y equals some number, what do you think h stands for? Well, it's describing what kind or type of line you will get. So this will be the graph of this line is horizontal. So that's the A, or H, of our mnemonic hoy. What do you think O stands for? Okay, remember O, it's not O, it's 0. So then we would say the slope is, got my colors mixed up here, 0. And then remember we had our little no and okay. So in this case it would be the O would be on top, the 0 on top, number on the bottom. That would be okay. Mathematically I can divide 0 by whatever I want. Now what do you think the Y stands for? Think about it. Where does this cross? It only crosses on the Y axis. So we would say this line intersects. Let's try that again. Intersects the Y axis. Okay? Only. Oops, I didn't spell that right, did I? Okay, so I'm going to go back, and I'm going to rewrite horizontal with capital letters, just to emphasize him. Okay, so that would be highlight the keywords. So that's where hoi comes from. H is the line would be horizontal if we have an equation of y equals some number. It would have a slope of 0, and it would intersect the y-axis only. All right, so let's look at this guy going vertically. That would be your x equals some number equation. So again, you might have already guessed what the V stands for. And the graph of this line is vertical. I'm going to write that with capital letters. Vertical. So that's the V in Vux. Let's see what would be U for this line. He's going to be the slope. Okay, so the slope is, and then we've got that word undefined. Undefined. And the reason why that slope is undefined is because I would have some number being divided by 0, and we said, nope, can't do that. It's the only thing in math you can't do. Okay, and then what does the x stand for? It would say this line intersects the x-axis only. So again, it's not going to cross the y-axis at all. Okay, so let's do some just getting it down and determining what we have. We're going to do some graphs. And we're not going to get too fancy with this, so I'm not going to bring out my graph paper. Okay, and we're being asked to graph x equals 2. I want to know if this is going to be hoi or vux. And we're going to answer this. It crosses blank axis. Sorry if I didn't try that again. Axis at blank. Okay, so my line, if it just says x equals 2, I would have only x coordinates would be 2. It could be any kind of y coordinate. So this is going to be a vertical line, which deals with the x crossing through the x-axis. So this is a vux. This crosses the x-axis at 2. All right, I'm going to number these. So this is number 1. Number 2. This is a tricky one. This is y equals 0. We want to know if this is hoi or vux. And it crosses the blank axis at blank. So here is our y equals 2, and it happens to be the x-axis. So you're saying, well, where does it intersect the x-axis? Everywhere. But we don't really care, because what we care about, that this is hoi, horizontal, slope of 0, intersects the y-axis. It does. Where? It intersects the y-axis, it crosses it at 0. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's see, we've got x, y. We're going to be graphing x equals -3. Okay, is this going to be Hoy or Vux? And, oops, it's going to be crossing. So it crosses the blank axis at blank. So since it says x only, it's going to be a Vux. It's going to be a vertical line that passes only through the x-axis at the point -3. Okay, so let's do another one. X-axis and y-axis. We're going to be graphing where x equals 0. Is that going to be Hoy or Vux? And it crosses the blank axis at blank. Okay, so if it is 0 and it's an x, then it has to be a Vux, right? But here, look at where it is. Isn't that crazy? So it crosses the x-axis at 0. So the equation x equals 0 is actually the y-axis. Crazy. All right, we got 2 more I want to graph, and then we'll be done. So we've got this guy. I'm going to graph a little smaller. Where do I want him to go? Over there. Okay. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself, right? And then we've got y equals 2. We want to know if that's Hoy or Vux. And it crosses the blank axis at blank. Okay, so because it is a y, that means it has to be Hoy. That means we're going to end up crossing the y-axis at 2. So we're going to draw a nice horizontal line passing through the y-axis at 2. So, did I draw that right? Nope, I did that wrong. No, I did it right. All the y numbers, coordinates are going to be 2. Okay, last one. I'm getting tired. So we're going to do a slightly different graph this time because of what we're graphing. We're in a graph where y equals -4. We want to know if that's Hoy or Vux. Oh, that almost looks like a U. There. And then crosses the blank axis at, and then blank. Okay. Now, because it says y, we know it has to be Hoy. So it's going to be a horizontal line with a slope of 0, passing through the y-axis at -4. And there you are. So that's our story of horizontal and vertical lines. All right, good luck with this, guys. Bye now.